Okay, my name is George Perdue. Um, I worked for the city 25 years. I retired in 1995. Well, for me, um, I was looking for a job, and I had just graduated from high school. I've been out, recently been out of high school, and this goes back to 1969 when I graduated. So I was, I knew I needed a job, and I had had some other jobs, and my cousin he worked for the city, and he took the junior clerk exam and he passed it, and that's what started his career. So me in turn, I was influenced by what he did. So I took the civil service junior clerk exam and I passed it, and I was hired in 1970 as a junior clerk, and my first position with the city was with the Civic Center Commission. The Civic Center Commission was located in Cobo Hall, and the commission itself uh, oversaw Cobo Hall and Cobo Arena, as well as the Veterans Memorial Building and the Ford Auditorium. So every day at 2 o'clock, I had to do a mail run, and that mail run would take me from Cobo to the Vets Building, to the Ford Auditorium, to the City County, and then back to Cobo. So rain, sleet, snow, heat, no matter what, at 2 o'clock I had to do that mail run. So eventually I decided that, I wanted to advance. So I took the clerk exam, and the clerk exam qualified me to become a meter reader. So that's what opened the door for me to come to the water department. So I began as a meter reader with the water department. That was in 1972. And then there came another opportunity, and this was via posting, because at that time, city departments were required to post job openings. So on the third floor of this building, the water department building, they had a jobs posting board in the lobby. So I always kept my eye on that. So the day and time came where they posted for apprenticeships, and that was one of the things that I wanted when I graduated from high school. That was my aspiration. I wanted to be a journeyman, and skilled trades was something that had always attracted me. It was something I liked working with my hands, and I knew a few people that were in skilled trades, and that was always something that I aspired to do. So I took the exam. I passed the exam. I took the apprenticeship exam and passed it, and I was on the eligibility list. And one of the things that Coleman Young did uh, was he implemented an affirmative action program. And what that did for myself and others was it opened the door for positions that we as African Americans a lot of times were not able to get. So I was selected. I was selected. I was eventually selected in 1977 to begin an apprenticeship program. And I never will forget. I was a meter reader, and at that time, meter reading was becoming quite challenging because there were bad actors, and these bad actors were posing as meter readers, and that added to the challenge of being a meter reader. Because at that time you had to go indoors. Meters were in the basement, so I've seen a lot of basements, a lot of houses throughout the city of Detroit. Um, so getting back to that, I passed the exam and I was selected, and I'll never forget the day I was called. At that time, the personnel office was on the main floor, and I remember I came in and I got my route, my meter reading route, and my supervisor told me, said, well, you need to go down and see the personnel officer. And I had no idea what it was going to be about. And when I got down there, he was smiling, and I said, well, this is probably going to be pretty good news. So it was, it was an opportunity to begin a machinist apprenticeship with the water department, and it was a dream come true. what I had aspired to do and to become had actually happened, was about to begin. Um, so it was a process. Apprenticeship is a process. I had to sign an agreement. I had to attend courses. There were courses that I had to take. So there were evening courses, and daytime I worked in the shop, in a machine shop, because this was a machinist apprenticeship. So I worked during the day, and then in the evening I took related trade courses. So that was for 4 years. That was for 4 years. So eventually, that ended. And I successfully completed the apprenticeship program, and I became a journeyman. A journeyman machinist, and one of two African Americans. And this shop had never had any African Americans to work in this shop. And I was warned by I remember I was warned by some of the workers that were at that facility to beware, of the situation that you're getting ready to step into. But I think what I looked for, I didn't look for discrimination. To me, it was an opportunity, and that was what really drove me, as opposed to trying to figure out if there was some discrimination that I was going to have to be aware of. And I did very well. I did very well. I completed the program in 1981, and then that led to my going to college. I enrolled at Lawrence Tech. Because in fact it was my mom that encouraged me to continue. She said, "Why don't you just keep going?" And what had happened was that a lot of folks that saw me doing that, well, not maybe not a lot, but there were some persons that said, some of the courses that you're taking in your apprenticeship are similar to some of the courses that you would take in an engineering curriculum. So I looked into that, and sure enough, that was the case. So, I started an engineering program at Lawrence Tech, and I did that at night. I did that at night as well. So, those were some of the things that I was really blessed to accomplish, and I'm thankful that I was able to accomplish those things while working for the city. So it was really, for me, it was a great experience, and one that allowed me to share. I think that was probably the greatest thing that I've experienced so far from my experience with the water department, and what I learned and what I was able to accomplish was the opportunity to share what I learned with others. So even while I was still working for the city, and I was working for the city, I worked for the city as an engineer at the wastewater treatment plant. While I was doing that work, when I was in that position, I happened to see a opportunity for, well, not necessarily an opportunity, but I saw an article that led to an opportunity. And this article was in the Engineering Society of Detroit's monthly publication, and it was an article on Focus Hope Center for Advanced Technology. And when I saw that article, I said, "Man, this is really nice." And it was all in manufacturing. Some of the things that I had learned, some of the skills I had acquired as a machinist, they were doing, but they were doing it at a automated level. And that was, to me, that was very fascinating. So what happened was that the personnel officer, the former personnel officer, her name is Shirley Lacey, she had retired, and she was working at Focus Hope as a personnel officer. So I called Shirley and asked if she could arrange a tour of Focus Hope. And she said, "Sure, come on over and I'll arrange a tour." So I went, and what happened as a result of me going on a tour was I got a part-time job in the evening as an instructor, instructing students on how to operate shop equipment like a lathe, a milling machine, a drill press, grinders, that kind of thing. So I did that in the evening while I worked during the day, at wastewater treatment plant. And then what happened was, I started coming close to 25 years, and then the attraction of being able to share what I had learned, in my experience as a machinist with the water department, with students that were that wanted to learn how to, operate those machines and get into those trades. Um, that just took my heart. So I retired. I retired and I went to Focus Hope full time, and I became an instructor at Focus Hope. It was for me. It was very um, productive. I would say it was very productive because I think I accomplished some of the things that I always wanted to accomplish. Um, the learning part of it has always been a big part of who I try to be. I try to be a learner. And in this day and time, that's mandatory. We have to be in constant learning mode. So the environment was one where I was looking for something to learn. Like I was always looking for, like what we did in the machine shop, the water department. We did a lot of pump work. Uh, so what I was always looking for was that next job, that next part that I would make that would, serve the purpose of transmitting water, to to the public. So that was the type of thing that I got out of it. The environment was probably not the best environment, but it was an environment that I knew that I had to navigate to accomplish the goal that was in my heart. It's like right now, like it's kind of overwhelming. Because I think that length of time is, it doesn't seem like it's been that long. And for me to be able to say 50 years ago, over 50 years ago actually, is mind-boggling. That much time has passed, and I feel blessed. Oh, that's I mean that's another aspect of it as well. Being able to serve the city and serve the public. Um, and again, what it meant for me is the fact that some of the skills that I learned, and these skills that I learned, they started in high school. Because I went to school in Detroit. Been in Detroit all my life. I graduated from Northwestern High School, and a lot of the courses that I took in high school were shop courses. So there was a foundation that was already there, and I thank God for my mom, because she was the one that really uh, kind of guided me in that path. I would just say that I'm very happy, that I was able to work for the city 25 years. 25 years that I was able to work for the city, and thankful that I had the opportunity. I met a lot of great people. So I'm thankful for the relationships that I was able to build uh, from working from working for the city. It was just a great experience, great all around experience for me.